Markets struggle to stabilize despite Credit Suisse's weekend rescue and central bank action. And ACWA Power Inks $2.5 billion worth of deals with Uzbekistan. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Farrage. Equity futures and Asian stocks struggled to stabilize this morning. A weekend deal to rescue Credit Suisse and promises of liquidity from central banks offered little lasting respite from fears that a bigger banking crisis is brewing. Investors are still digesting the impact of the historic Swiss-backed acquisition of Credit Suisse by UBS Group and emergency dollar liquidity from top central banks. UBS will pay $3.23 billion for Credit Suisse and assume up to $5.4 billion in losses. The U.S. Federal Reserve and the central banks of Canada, the UK, Japan, the EU, and Switzerland will launch their special drive to improve banks' access to liquidity today. The central banks will step up so-called swap lines operations, which give non-U.S. central banks greater access to dollars. To improve the swap lines' effectiveness in providing U.S. dollar funding, the central banks currently offering U.S. dollar operations will increase the frequency of 7-day maturity operations from weekly to daily. New York Community Bank Corp has taken over Signature Bank and assumed most of its deposits. It comes 1 week after crypto-friendly Signature Bank and tech-focused Silicon Valley Bank both collapsed in the span of just a few days, sending shockwaves through the U.S. financial system. New York Community Bank Corp subsidiary Flagstar Bank will operate Signature Bank's 40 branches starting today. Most of Signature's deposits, around $88.6 billion worth, will head to Flagstar. It also bought $38.4 billion worth of Signature's loans and other assets. Bitcoin retreated this morning, trading in the $27,200 range after seeing its highest close in a year yesterday. Bitcoin rose to $28,380 on Sunday, adding $1,400 to its previous close. It's up roughly 70% from the year's low of $16,496 on January 1st. Saudi's ACWA Power Company has inked power purchase agreements worth $2.5 billion with Uzbekistan. They're for the development, construction, operation, and ownership of 3 solar photovoltaic plants there. They'll have a combined capacity of 1,400 megawatts. ACWA Power will also develop, construct, operate, and own 3 battery energy storage systems with a combined capacity of 1,500 megawatts. The facilities will likely offset 1.6 million tons of carbon emissions each year and power 1.1 million households. The EU will host a conference in Brussels today aimed at raising funds from international donors for victims of the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. Last month's catastrophic 7.8 magnitude quake flattened entire cities, killing more than 50,000 people across southeastern Turkey and parts of Syria. Millions were displaced, and a preliminary estimate from the UN says the damage in Turkey alone could amount to over $100 billion. The aim is to raise $1 billion for Turkey and $397 million for Syria. And Shazam, Fury of the Gods topped the North American box office this weekend with an estimated $30.5 million opening, but it's a sharp drop-off from the original blockbuster, and analysts called the results disappointing. Critics called it one of the worst starts for a major Hollywood superhero film. The original Shazam enjoyed a $53.5 million opening in April 2019, while the sequel has had lukewarm reviews. I'm Ramia Farrage. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.